I found some really cool information about them originally on what was the site? Crystalvaults.com. They have some really cool information that you can learn about, crystals in general. But I got some cool information about crystal grids, and I took notes down, so I wanted to share those with you. Let's see. You've never got to do a grid. Do you think you could give us? Yeah, that's exactly. I'm gonna tell you how to make them, and we'll talk about some stones as well. I'm also gonna tell you how to grid your house and what stones you want to use when it comes to grading your house or a space in your house, where it comes to keeping negative energy out and pulling in positive energy. So I'll be covering all of that for sure. Grid you, baby Bridget. Great. All right. Well, first of all, crystals hold their own specific energy, and they hold their own specific vibration. Each specific crystal, each different kind of crystal has its own energy, has its own vibration. I know we have so many crystal lovers here, right? And you can use just one crystal to gain insight and strength or energy that you may need at any specific time. Or you can use multiple crystals to create a unique energy specified to you and any specific situation that you feel you need help with at that time. I'm just looking at your questions here. Results, can healing crystals as the newbie hurt my hands? It shouldn't per se. Like I said, each crystal has its own energy, right? And its own vibration. There are some crystals that are very intense. Like for instance, moldavite. Okay, like this crystal. Specifically was created from, I'm trying to make sure you can see this. Moldavite, if you guys don't know about it, it was made from a comet that hit the Earth, like over 1 million years ago. It was in Germany where this comet landed, or an asteroid landed, and all the particles that were created from the impact created glass or crystals like this. So this is literally like a part of outer space. That's what moldavite is. And moldavite, that type of crystal, this crystal, you have to be very careful with, especially as a newbie when you are using it, because it can affect you in ways that may not feel energetically in alignment right away. Some people will say they'll get headaches from them, or they'll just have some weird reactions with it. So there are certain crystals that can affect you differently. They shouldn't ever really hurt your hands, though. You shouldn't ever be in pain. If you do feel pain from a crystal, then that crystal is not meant for you at that time. That's something you might want to revisit at another point. So if you ever feel uncomfortable or not right with a certain crystal or a certain type of crystal, then all you need to do is set it aside and maybe gift it to somebody else to see if it works for them, or just keep it for yourself for a later time where you might feel more aligned with it, with its energy and its vibration. I hope that helps, Griselda. Okay, so when it comes to crystals, you can use multiple crystals to create a unique energy that can be specified to you and to any situation, okay? So what is a crystal grid? A crystal grid is an arrangement of crystals on a specific geometric shape that focuses the universal life force in a particular way for a particular purpose. And you can use sacred geometric designs, you can use symbols, you can use mandalas, or anything that really speaks to you or draws you in where it comes to designing your own grid. Like for instance, what I really like to do, and I should have brought it, is I get like a mandala coloring book, and I'll color in a mandala, because I like to do that kind of to just relax myself, kind of as like a meditation of sorts. And then I'll rip it out of the book, and I'll use the mandala I colored as a grid for my crystals. So that's something that you can do. And also, while you're coloring in the mandala, you could be setting your intention and your focus into what you're going to be using it for as well. And that just puts more power and energy into it. So that's a really cool thing that you can do. You don't have to go and buy grids, because you can go online and you can buy grids to use to create your crystal grids, but you don't have to go and spend money on it. It's something you can create yourself, really. So, why do you think you may need a crystal grid? A single crystal has its own specific energy for us to work with. And when we use a crystal grid, it gives us the opportunity to combine multiple crystal energies into whatever it is we are trying to create or manifest. And it really is a great way to combine, all kinds of energies with our own intention and the energies of the crystals to really focus into one specific purpose. And crystal grids are so easy to use. They're so easy to create. And it really gives us an opportunity to kind of use our own creativity, our own imagination, to really create something that is unique to us, that is unique to our energy. And it's a really great outlet for that. It's a great outlet for any creativity that you have. Let me see. I'm just scrolling through the feed here so I can be answering your questions. Hi, Chris Stevenson. Which ones for crystals not to put together? I mean, there's nothing really specific saying that you can put some together and you can't put any together. It kind of all really has to do with what you're being drawn to. And knowing, you can always find out information about specific spiritual qualities that each crystal has. So, let's say your focus is on creating this grid to open up your abilities more. Okay, just throwing that out there. So we all know the psychic stone, the psychic crystal is amethyst, right? So you would be wanting to use amethyst along with, I would suggest, clear quartz. Clear quartz like this, would be wonderful to use. If you're looking into something like really opening up your abilities, using selenite, which is really great to open up your crown chakra. So it's, but it's also not to say that you can't use selenite and a black moonstone if that's what you feel called to doing, So there's no right or wrong. There's no, well, you can't put those crystals together, but you can put those together. That's not how it is. It really has to do with your energetic connection to the crystals that you want to use and what you feel you need, okay? Again, it's really all about intention. You guys have heard me say that before, and I will say it again and again and again, I'm sure, because I don't think a lot of us realize that so much of what we do as light workers, when we're creating magic and when we're manifesting, it's about our intention. We are that final piece to the puzzle. So no matter what it is that you are doing, there's no right or wrong. It's about the intention and energy that you're putting into it. Okay? I hope that helps. Hello, Rita. Wonderful. Yvette says she has some wood slices as grids and a round mirror. I love that, Yvette. That's fantastic. Okay, let me see. Can you make a grid including a tarot card layout? Sure. Yeah. You could do whatever you want. Honestly, that's a great idea, Champagne. I like that idea. That's very cool. Bridget says she's had some crystals tell me I don't want to be next to her. Right. Exactly. So that's what it's all about. It's not like you're going to feel it. You're going to get that information. It's not like you can go online and say, oh, what crystals should go together, what crystals shouldn't. It's really all about their specific energy. Because even though you may have 3 or 4 amethysts that basically have that same, spiritual properties, they're still going to have a little bit of a different vibrational level, or, you know, a vibrational frequency, because they're all unique too, just like we are as people. So, you know, you might have like 4 or 5 amethysts, and maybe one of them doesn't want to even be with those other 4. It could be like dealing with toddlers. Honestly, it's all about how you feel about the energetic connection that you have and that you create with these crystals, and that they have with you and the other crystals as well. I hope that makes sense. Yes, some crystals will drain you, for sure. And that crystal that drains you may not drain the person sitting next to you, too. You know, some will be known to maybe drain some energy from you, but it really kind of depends on how it affects you personally and you and your unique energy. So, let me move on here. Okay, so they're very easy to use. Making a crystal grid is easy to use. Getting it, activating it is very easy to use. And like I said before, you can use any kind of background for the actual grid. Anything that, if you want to be creative, if you don't want to have to deal with that, you can go online and you can buy grids. You know, they're not super expensive, but you could just go and buy some if you feel more comfortable doing that to get yourself started, you know, until you get kind of into how it works and until you feel comfortable with it. That's totally fine. But every grid has several parts when you're talking about the crystals. There is the focus stone, there's the way stones, there's the desire stones, then you have the path and the visual. And I'm going to go over all of that information right now for you. So, when it comes to the focus stones, the focus stone is the rock or crystal that's located in the center of the crystal grid. That is called the focus stone. And its main purpose is to gather, focus, and amplify the universal life force, or the chi, for the grid. It collects the universal life force and channels it into the grid. So, for instance, let's say this. Let's say you want to use this beautiful clear quartz point, right? This could be your center. And I love how it has the point there, right? You can kind of almost feel how it's channeling energy into it from the top. And then all of that energy will be coming through it and out into all the other crystals that'll be surrounding it in the grid, okay? It doesn't have to be the shape. It could be any crystal. It could be any shape. It could be a palm stone like this, like my selenite. It just depends on what it is you're feeling drawn to using or what you're trying to accomplish with your crystal grid. So that is the focus stone. The focus stone is part of our crystal grid that gathers in that force, drawing it down and inward, creating a flow of energy that is then integrated within the crystal's energy to amplify both energies as they work together. Colored stones are said to work well as a focus stone, but it is also good to keep in mind that lighter colored stones may be better to use, as it does allow the energy to flow through the stone without overpowering the focus of the grid, and without much disturbance or change as it flows to the path. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So that is our focus stone, the middle stone of the grid. Now we're moving on to the way stones. So the stones that immediately surround the focus stone, the center stone, on the path are called the way stones. They are very important elements of many grids. The focus stone brings in the life force and shapes it through its crystal energy lattice and modifies it with its color energy and sends it down the path to the way stones. The way stones are used to then modify and amplify the energy through the focus stone. The color and energy of the way stones is what affects the energy at this point of the process as the energy is flowing through the path. Okay? So does that make sense to you guys? So we have the focus stone, which is pulling in that universal life force energy. It's pulling that energy down, the chi of the universe, into that focus stone. And then it comes through and it goes down through the path to your next stones surrounding the focus stone, which is the way stones. Okay? Sorry, I gotta click on this. All right. So that's how that works so far. So that's what you have with the way stones. Next, on your next outer part of your grid are the desire stones. Desire stones are the outermost stones on a crystal grid. They are the final part of your grid that goes on the outside. Desire stones represent the end state that the grid is constructed to produce. Selection of desire stones is based on the specific final purpose of the grid. Okay? These stones gather the energy that has been focused and shaped by the focus stone, the way stones, and the path. They give the universal life force that came down through that focus stone its final shaping and tuning to the desired outcome of the crystal grid that you have made. They are chosen in a similar manner to the way stones by their crystal energy lattice and by their color rays. So, desire stones are often the crystals that would be used alone to accomplish something. However, using multiple ones and having them fed with focused and amplified energy gives them much more energy to accomplish their purpose. So, let's say, for instance, I'm going to use this again. Let's say you're creating a grid with the intention to really work on opening up your intuitive abilities. So let's say we would use the clear quartz as the focus stone, right? Which clear quartz is known to amplify any energy and any energy of any crystals around it. I love clear quartz. I love working with it when I work with my third eye or my crown chakra. So let's say use this as a focus stone, right? So then for the way stones, the next crystals go around it. I would use, personally, I would use selenite. See if I could get some like selenite wands like this, right? That you could place around the focus stone. Because selenite, again, is really great for working with your crown chakra for channeling information and energy and opening up your crown chakra, which is going to be really wonderful where it comes to opening up and really opening up your intuitive abilities, right? So that would be what I would use next. I would use selenite. Then, as the desire stones, which would be that final finish, I would use amethyst as the desire stones. As the amethyst, as I said, is known as the psychic stone. That's what really opens up your third eye. So right there, you would have an amazing grid where it comes to opening up your intuitive abilities. Clear quartz in the center, some selenite around that, and then amethyst stones around that. Or chips even. It doesn't even have to be big, chunky crystals. You could even just use chips or, little tiny pieces. And that alone would be an amazing grid for you to be able to use for that specific purpose. You guys following me? Hi, Shirley. You guys are talking about an AA group for crystals. Actually, we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago. Who was saying that? I think it was Debbie. I think it was Holy Schmoly was talking about it. Talking about how we have to have a Crystals Anonymous around these here parts. Totally agree. So then we have the desire stones, which finishes the actual crystal part of your grid. Now I'm going to talk to you about the path. The path is the lines of energy that flow through the grid, guiding the energy from the focus stone through any way stones and then to the desire stones. Okay, that is called the path. The path is the journey to the desire that we seek while we're creating this grid. It is why we're creating this grid, right? The path is the energy conduit that draws on the sacred geometry that we're using to align, transmit, and guide our energy to achieve our desires. So this is really all about manifestation, right? I mean, I know I talk about manifestation a lot. A lot of us talk about manifestation a lot. That's really what you're doing here with these crystal grids. And the path is the flow of energy in a particular grid design. The path follows the lines of the grid. It connects the stones to the patterns of life. There's a great synergy to be gained when the path is aligned with the energy matrices of the crystals on it. The energy system that results is one of great power, and the universal life force is gathered, focused, and amplified effectively in a well-designed crystal grid with paths that channel our energy effectively. The path is derived from the grid shape, and there are many designs for crystal grids. Each has their specific uses and meanings. You can use circles, squares, triangles, the seeds of life, flower of life, hexagons, pentagons, spirals, mandalas, the Borromean rings, the Ashok chakra, the Eye of Horus, all kinds of designs that you can use. All of these are very potent and very useful. So there really is a never-ending plethora of designs for us that we can use and to see what you're drawn to and what you want to be using. And each has its own specific meaning and power. So the study of sacred geometry is really kind of beneficial too, because it teaches the use of each design. So if you're kind of interested in that, you could really look into some information about sacred geometry and, like Metatron's cube. You could use that as a grid. There's all kinds of great geometric designs that you can use. And then you incorporate symbols into that, or maybe sigils that you use that you've created yourself to amplify any energy that you're working through. It's literally endless the things you can use to create these grids. Let's see, Kathy Sue says, could you use a set of chakra stones for the desire stones? Like if you were wanting to balance chakras. Actually, Kathy Sue, I think that's a great idea. Absolutely. I think that's a really great idea. I really like that, Kathy Sue. Brilliant. Okay, so that is the path that we're just talking about. Now, I'm moving on to the visual. So our crystal grid is enriched by both design and color patterns. So all of our grids should be built on a visual, on the aesthetics of it. And a grid designed to increase our health can be enhanced by a background scene of robust health and vigorous activities that we desire when we achieve that good health, right? Because that's really how manifestation in general works, is we're already visualizing what it is we're creating. And it's the same thing with the grids. If you want to do that, you can use that as a background grid or a background design. The visualization of what it is you are creating. And a grid, like for instance, a grid of increased wealth can be enhanced with a background of the money symbol or things that we desire specifically. The background it gives the form to our desire. And all grids can be enhanced with a great visual. The visuals provided by the grid are great. By grid kits are great, but you can change them very easily. So if you're going to buy a grid or a grid kit, that's really great, but you can change it to really make it more uniquely yours as well. So now we're going to be moving on to how you're actually going to be using this crystal grid. So now you're going to want to be activating this grid that you have created. And you're already in the process of putting your intention and your focus into it, because you're picking out these crystals. You're seeing what crystals are energetically in alignment with you. You're seeing what crystals you're drawn to. You're seeing what grid you're drawn to. You're already putting so much of your energy and intention into it. So now the activating part is really a great time for us to really focus all that intention and that energy. And it's a very unique and special a special process that you go through when you do activate your grid. So when you go to activate your grid, you can use any tool. Some people like to say that you have to use a wand, like in Wiccan practices, or some people just use their hands. I'll just use my hands. But you can really use any kind of tool that speaks to you. You could even have, a limb from a branch or something. You don't have to have anything. You can just use your hands. But you can, if you really want to think about it and meditate on it, you'll see what you're drawn to, and you'll get some insight there. And what you'd be using, whether it be a tool or your hands, is you'll be transmitting the activating energy of your mind into the grid to power it with the universal life force, or the chi. So what you really want to do is, here's an example of what you can do. And it doesn't have to be exactly this. It could be anything that you can put your own spin on it. But for instance, you're going to want to sit down at a time where you're not going to be distracted. You're going to be, once you're doing your grid, you want to be in your own special space. You want to know that you're not going to be interrupted. And you're going to want to kind of stand or sit near your grid and close your eyes. And in your mind, you're going to take some nice big deep breaths. And you're going to calm yourself. You're going to get yourself into a nice, sweet, calm, relaxing state. You're going to get into that sweet spot. And you're going to feel the waves of energy washing over you and really just calming you. Okay? And in your mind, you could be traveling throughout time and space and through the galaxy. And you're really just letting yourself go. You'll see stars. You can see planets as you're flying by in your mind's eye, going to the center of the galaxy. And when you get there, you're going to look around. Everything in the universe is spinning around you. And it's beautiful. And it's quiet. And it's peaceful. And you can feel how close you are to source energy and to the universal life force energy right at that point. You're going to be feeling the love, the pulses of pure love energy and life energy as they're streaming out all around you throughout the galaxy is where you are in your mind. And you're going to want to hold up the tool you're using or your hand and see the energy flowing out from it. And now in your mind's eye, you're going to look through all of the space and you're going to find the focus stone of your grid. You will see it far out in the fringes of the galaxy and see it shining brighter than all of the suns and the stars. Use your hand or your tool to focus a flow of pulsing life energy out to your focus stone. Now open your eyes to be instantly transported back to your grid. Now you're going to take either the tool you're using or your hand. You're going to touch to the center of your forehead, right where your third eye is. And then you're going to touch your focus stone to seal the connection between your visions and the focus stone of your grid. And now that universal life energy is flowing into your focus stone. So that's just an example of what you could be doing, of how you could activate it. You could go through your own meditative state, your own meditative process, where you are visualizing what it is that you're trying to create and manifest with this grid. Not what you are what you are creating and manifesting with this grid. Visualization is key. And you don't necessarily have to visualize what I just said or what I just went through when it comes to activating your grid. You can visualize whatever it is you want. You can visualize what it is you are creating, what you see happening and changing in your life with this grid that you have created. Okay, does that make sense? No, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. Thank you, Rita. I love you. So, that is a really great way to activate your grid. Just pull in all that energy, pull in all that chi, pull in that universal life force, pull in that visualization of energy of what you're creating, and bring it down into you and pull it down into that focus stone. And that's when you activate that grid and you get that energy flowing right through it. Through the focus stone, through the path to the way stones, through the path to the desire stones. And you'll be able to feel it. It's really awesome. So, and so now you've created this incredible grid. You've taken your intention, you've taken your energy, and you've created this beautiful, creative, amazing part of you and part of the universe. And now you have it. Now what do? You just let it sit there? I mean, kind of, but not really. So in general, you're going to place a crystal grid in a location that is conducive to its use. So, don't feel limited here. Grids work indoors and outdoors. Grids are portable. You can take them with you. You can expose them to the universal life force whenever possible. Use your imagination and get the most from your grids. They don't need to just be in a single location. You can experiment. You could set grids up outside. Let's say you have a tree stump. How cool would that be to use to set up a grid? A tree stump. That's something you could do. But you can also set them up in your home in a specific sacred space you have. So while the specifics of each grid differ, the concept is the same. Grids bring energy into a space and focus and align it to specific purposes. The energy from the grid has to go somewhere, and most grids are built to bring the energy into your life. So for you, you just need to be in a receptive role. And make sure your grid is going to be somewhere where you're going to pass by it throughout the day, or you're going to at least see it once or twice a day. And when you do that, when you're passing by it or you're walking by it, stop and spend a few seconds absorbing the energy from your desire stones. It could just be for a few seconds, just to sit and absorb the energy that is flowing through it. And the best way to do that is to first look at your focus stone. See the flow of energy descending into it, into that pillar, like a pillar, into that stone. Then watch the energy flow down the path to the way stones and feel that energy. Look briefly at each stone, at each crystal in turn, and focus on it for a few seconds. And remember what they mean for you. Remember what your intention was when you created this grid. Then watch as that energy flows down the path out to the desire stones. And let the energy from each one of those travel like a laser beam into your third eye chakra. And absorb that energy and let it guide you closer to your desires and closer to what it is you're manifesting. It's all about visualization and intention again. And that process will allow the universal life force from your crystal grid to flow into your spirit, your energy center, your energy grid, and your consciousness. And it will empower you and show you the way to your desires and to your manifestations. Does that make sense? Does that make sense when it comes to creating a grid? Are you all with me here still? Because from here, I'm going to go on to how to grid your home. I want to make sure that you guys are all understanding and that makes sense to you all. Hi, Reza. What's up, man? So just checking to make sure that you guys are all still with me here. Hi, Kelly Marie. I didn't know you were here. Makes perfect sense. Okay, great. Yes, wonderful. Fantastic. So see, really setting up a crystal grid, it's so easy. It's all about your intention, about what you're wanting to manifest, about what you're creating, about your desires. It's really all it is. It's about using your creativity, about using your energy and your love and your joy and just focusing it into these amazing crystals that hold so much amazing vibrational energy. It's all it is. You can't do it right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. It's all right as long as what you're doing is in alignment with you, in alignment with your best interest. Okay? Okay, so now I'm going to talk about, excuse me, how to be gridding your home. Because I know there's so many of us that, we want to create like a special energetic space, for our whole home, or even if let's say you have roommates and let's say maybe, you live in a small apartment and you can't, maybe they're not into it. Maybe they're not a woo-woo like us, right? Your roommates. You can grid your specific space. You can grid your specific bedroom. You can grid any space that you feel that you want to grid. But if you are lucky enough to, have a whole reign of a whole house, you could grid your whole house. You can grid your property. You can grid anything. So let me talk about that a little bit here. So when you're gridding your home, this is the most basic grid that you can make. And it is a really great starting point for any grid pattern that you decide to build. It is super powerful and protective, making it a good anchor for expanding your grid work. So let's say you want to grid your home. Let's say you're finally realizing, okay, I need to protect the space. Let's do this. What you're going to want to use is black tourmaline crystals, okay? And in the four corners of your home, you're going to place a shard of black tourmaline. So most homes aren't perfect squares, so do your best to determine what the four outermost corners are of your home, okay? And even if absolutely one back corner can end up being a bathroom, one corner might be in your bedroom or in your kitchen or a sunroom or a porch. Each space is different, so do your best to determine which four corners in your home need that black tourmaline shard, okay? And your garage does not count, by the way, as part of the living area of your home, so you don't have to worry about your garage. What you're going to be gridding is the living area of your home, all right? Oh, Kelly, thank you. I'm so glad you're here too. I feel some really great energy from all of you guys right now. It's pretty awesome. You guys are getting me all amped up. I was feeling like so tired earlier. Now I'm just like, woo! Okay, so black tourmaline. The reason why you want to be using black tourmaline is it absorbs negativity and it creates a safe space. And that's what we're all really trying to create with our homes, right? We want to feel secure and stable and safe and comforted. Black tourmaline is wonderful for that because it's going to absorb any negativity and it's going to create that safe space for you. It traps bad or negative vibes within its core. It is a very protective stone. It's almost, I feel like when I think of black tourmaline, I almost feel like of it as like a watchdog when it comes to your home. That's what it feels like to me, in a very loving way, of course. So it creates an invisible barrier around your home when placed in the four corners, okay? So black tourmaline. Bridget says, does it matter where in the corner you have dogs? You could put it, it doesn't matter if it's down on the floor, on a molding. You can put it on top of moldings of doors. You can get really ingenuitive with it. You can really put it anywhere. But if, let's say, in one of your corners, let's say you have a doorway, you can put it at the top of a doorway. It doesn't really matter per se, Bridget. Great question. Yeah, because you don't want little kids. If you have like babies or toddlers, you obviously don't want to be leaving shards of crystals around where they're going to pick it up and put it in their mouth. So you can definitely get creative with that, okay? You could even, if you wanted to, make a little shelving or something to put something up onto. Whatever. Again, use your creativity a bit. You can kind of create things this way, but you definitely want to get it into those four corners of your home. Okay. And how funny you said you have dogs right after I was talking about the black tourmaline being watchdogs. Let's see. Reza says, in hoodoo, you bury at the four corners of the home. Would that be okay? Yeah, for sure. You could do that as well, too. Because, crystals, actually, when you bury them into the earth, too, that's like charging them with Gaia's energy. So that's definitely something you could do as well, Reza. That's a great idea. Excuse me. So next, after you do that with your black tourmaline, Sarah asked me, what do you cleanse or bless your crystals with? Sarah, so when I first receive crystals, I sage them. I'll sage them with a sage bundle. I'll smudge them, I should say, with a sage bundle. And then I will put them on my altar with my other crystals, either next to a clear quartz or selenite, touching it, because that also clears energy out of them. If it's because before the crystal gets to me, I don't know who's touched it, what process it's been through to get to me. So you want to clear it up. That's how I do that originally. I'll smudge it with sage, and then I will put it on my altar that is automatically charged with high vibe energy, and I'll place it, near selenite, like you need my selenites or my clear quartz, which will really clear that energy out as well. And then what I do is on the next full moon, I'll put it out under the full moon, which starts today, guys. Today through Friday is our full moon phase. Put it out under the full moon, and it'll charge up your crystal with their natural vibration and natural energy, and it'll really charge those crystals right up. So that's how I do that with my crystals. Okay, so let's see. Josephina, do we have to do one upstairs and one downstairs? No, you can just do one downstairs or upstairs, whichever you want. It doesn't. You don't have to do two levels. If you just have, and I think actually I referred to that too in here. Okay, so I'm going to move on, and then I'll go back if I don't cover that. But Josephina, you don't have to do both levels. You're just going to want to do one level for this, and it'll protect the whole space. Okay, so after the black tourmaline, next you're going to place a piece of pointed clear quartz or laser quartz in front of the black tourmaline, with the point facing the black tourmaline. So when the point is directed into the black tourmaline, the energy is directed out of the home and into the black stone. And this helps to pull out any negativity manifesting within the home, also trapping it within the black tourmaline. Okay? Does that make sense? So you're going to have that tourmaline first in the corners, and then you're going to have your clear quartz in front of that with a point facing the black tourmaline, and it's pulling out that negative energy and putting it into the black tourmaline, where that negativity will now not be in your home, but that black tourmaline will be trapping that negative energy. Okay? And the black tourmaline is the anchor that holds the grid in place. So placing it in the four corners keeps it locked and secure. So let's see. A therapeutic way to expand on your basic home grid is to visit your windows. Make sure your windowsills are clean and tidy and undamaged if you can, and check for any water leaks or any other potential ailments. And expanding your home grid by incorporating protection through your windows is a way to further enhance the power of your grid. Grids aren't necessarily more powerful if more stones are used, but the energy of the grid changes and enhances when other stones are introduced. Okay? And since windows are found on the exterior of the home, they pass through the invisible line that connects the four shards of black tourmaline in your four corners. So on your windowsills, you could place amethyst and or selenite. Selenite's really great to place on your windowsills. And you can do this on every window or specifically on your largest window or a window where you feel that you need more protection, like your bedroom. And amethyst is paired really well with your bedroom and for sleeping with. So amethyst would be great to use to put on your windowsill in your bedroom, and like for instance on your back porch as well. So placing either selenite or amethyst on your windowsills or like open areas like your back porch. Those are great crystals to use in that area as well. Amethyst is extremely protective, but it's also very soothing and calming, which is great to use that in your bedroom, on your bedroom window. And it is rebalancing and restorative, helping you to keep your personal space feeling sacred. And selenite's one of my favorite stones. And it's really another wonderful protection stone. And since it often grows in long wand-like shapes, it tucks neatly on a windowsill. Something like this is great to put on your windowsill. And it enhances the other stones it is with while keeping them energetically charged and cleansed. I don't know if you know that selenite is self-cleansing, and it cleanses crystals and stones around it or touching it. Self-cleansing here. Selenite and citrine and clear quartz. They're all self-cleaning, and they charge other crystals as well. I mean, how cool is that? Okay, let's see. So when we talk about finding the center of your home, it can be a bit tricky, especially if you have more than one level, right? It's just Fina was talking about. So, there's some people that will say that the center of their home maybe was like inside of a wall or in a hallway or something like that. And while that very well may be true, on your home's blueprint, when you're looking at it that way, finding the center quadrant could be easier. And then that, then when it comes to that, it's all about when you're trying to find the center, because when you're trying to find the center of your home, this is because you're going to be wanting to place a piece of tiger's eye in the center of your home or the center quadrant of your home. And as that might not be so easily to do, and you might not want to have a piece of tiger's eye like right in the middle of your living room, there are things that you could do. Let's say you have a dining room table or a coffee table in the middle of your living room, and you feel like that's kind of the center of your home. It's the center of where your family is, the center of where you congregate. You can find something decorative that's made out of tiger's eye to place there. There's things that you can incorporate. You can get creative again to really do this. And you want to use tiger's eye in the center of your home, as it is another protective stone, and it is really great for unblocking any energy and enhancing your personal power. And it is a watchful eye that peers across your entire home and property and connects to the anchors of your grid. So that is the next step. After you have put the tourmaline and the selenite, or the clear quartz in the corners of your home, and then you place some selenite and amethyst on your windowsills. Now you want to find the center of your home and place some tiger's eye there. And again, let's say your center of your home, maybe it's in your kitchen. Sorry, I have something in my eye, guys. You could place something on top of your cabinets. If the tiger's eye on top of your cabinets or on top of your fridge. It doesn't have to be somewhere where you are always going to see it. You can place it just wherever it really works for you, where it comes to finding that center of your home space. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, crafty, right. A tiger's eye bracelet you could put right in a vase or something. Exactly. You can get ingenuitive. You can get creative. You can find definite ways to make sure this all works. Bridget, are you kidding? I want a huge tiger's eye sculpture in the middle of my house. Bridget, you freaking crack me up. I love tiger's eye too. It's so beautiful. And now I want a big tiger's eye sculpture in the middle of my house. Malcolm is going to be so mad at you, Bridget. Okay, so a side note here. So in this case, if your home has multiple levels, like Josephina was asking, if placing your tiger's eye in a center quadrant in the upper level makes more sense, that is totally fine. For example, if the center of your house on the main level is, let's say, the heart of the kitchen and the stove is there and the sink is there, you don't necessarily want to put a crystal there. You can use that upper level if you want for that center tiger's eye piece. And that will totally work as well, because the upper level has a nice open space, and it'll it can definitely kind of be like, on a perch, because the tiger's eye it's kind of like it's keeping away, keeping track of everything that's going on, right? So you can put that upstairs for sure and make sure that that it works that way as well. So it's as simple as that when it comes to gridding your home, to creating your own crystal grid, and to gridding your home to create a really wonderful, protected, beautiful, warm space where you feel safe, you feel secure, you feel that positive energy, and all that negativity and all the crap is flowing out. Because we can all come home from work and just feel like shit, and you're just holding on. Let's say you're holding on to other people's crap and other people's energy, and you just had a bad, stressful day. And when you can get home and you can relax, knowing that your energy is going to be pulling out, that negative energy is going to be pulled out of you and out of your home, it's really such a comforting feeling, isn't it? Like, it really is. So those are some really simple ways that you guys can accomplish that. And you can accomplish to have that awesome, beautiful, loving energy in your home, in a specific room, in your space, wherever you want, wherever you feel you need it. Hi, Kimmy. Kimberly Bateman, one of our newest moderators. Hello, lovely. Kathy, you're saving this video in your favorites. I feel so special. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so glad Kimmy's here. I love me some Kimmy. I got to meet Kimberly Bateman at the Blessed Retreat last year, and it was like we were instant friends. I just love her. Oh, yes, Daniela, definitely rewatch it. So there's really some really useful tips and some really cool information here. Do any of you guys have any more questions? Anything I didn't answer? If I can't answer them now, I will. If I can't, I'll find out the answers for you. I don't claim to know everything. Well, at least to you guys. I tell my husband I know everything. With you guys, I don't claim to know everything. So if I don't know an answer, I'll find it out for you. But I think you guys get it. But yes, bye, Claudia. Have a good night. Oh, Kimmy, I'm so glad you're here. I'm actually just about to end. And what time is it? Yeah, it's 7:15. I'm about to go have some dinner myself, and I think I'm going to go to bed early tonight. It's been a long few days, and I think things are starting to settle in now. So I'm sorry, Kimmy, that I'm jumping off just as you just get in here. And Tina, hi, Tina, our other new moderator. Oh, Kimmy and Tina, how awesome. Oh, Kimmy, I love you so much, too. I feel so bad now. I'm jumping off, Tina and Kimmy. Paula asks, tiger's eye color, does it matter? Nope. Just as long as you use that tiger's eye crystal for the center of your home, that's all that matters. It does not matter what color. I would go with whatever color draws you to it. Honestly, whatever makes you feel warm and supported and comfortable. That's what I would use. Yes, happy full mooning, everybody. Remember to put out your crystals and your water to make moon water. Tomorrow, the full moon's at 99.9%. And then Thursday, I think it's at 99.6%. So you can either tomorrow or Thursday, you're going to get a really great charge with your moon water and with your crystals. So don't forget to put those out over the next day or two. But the full moon doesn't even end. It goes through till Friday. So the next phase doesn't start till Saturday. So we are in the midst of the full moon energy. Everybody beware. Stay calm. Don't be poking no bears. Don't be starting shit. If you feel like you need to start some shit, just wait a couple days. And if you still feel like that over the weekend, then go for it. But I would suggest just waiting until after Friday and enjoy the full moon for sure. I am going to go get myself some dinner. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me tonight. And I will be seeing you guys next Tuesday. So have a great week. I love you guys. Good night. Bye.